It's that time of the year again to clean and service this filthy ass gun. Look at the state of this. Right, first thing we've got to do is obviously take it apart. So first screws you want to take out, I've already kind of unscrewed it to speed up the process, is take these 4 screws out. Just make sure, one thing I did forget is take the gas, the battery, and any nails that you had in the gun out before you start taking it apart. This bit off. Oh my god, look at this. Next set of screws you want to take off are those two there. So a screw in there and a screw in there. Once you've taken the 2 screws out, you just want to lift that out. You can tell I actually used the gun, right? But that is bad to clean. So you're going to want to clean, obviously, the fan area and all of that where the ring is. And of course the piston and inside there. Those are the worst areas. And obviously outside shell you can also clean. Now what I do as well, you know, not everyone does this. I do it just because you can clean it in properly. I actually take the piston fully out of the actual shell. So the way you want to do that is actually take those 2 screws out over there. Okay, and just make sure you don't lose these pieces and try to keep it together if you can. And then you want to take off these 3 screws. Then what you want to do is just press these 2 little bits a little bit in so you can take off this actual shell bit here. Okay, otherwise you won't be able to get it out. So just press these 2 down and then carefully take your little engine thing out, and there you go. You have the shell and you have this open. Right, what you'll need is some sort of cloth, fiber cloth if you have some as well, maybe some kitchen roll. Obviously for the cleaners I have the lubricant, that's for the Paslode lubricant oil, and for the cleaner I use just a regular hot spray cleaner. People tend to use that in the UK most often. You can get the Paslode cleaner, should be enough to do the job. Let's go outside and let's get to cleaning. Start with the easiest part. So the easiest part is this plastic shell. So anything that you see, any black parts like that, you just want to spray them. This is a self-drying brake cleaner, so you don't have to worry about drying it off. You just gotta let it naturally dry. If you got one of these as well, that'd be handy. You can actually clean the actual shell as well to get the gun looking all orange again. Let's move on to this again. Just make sure you can see through it. Yeah, if you can see through it, that means it's clean. Right, this piece. What you want to do probably first, right, because there's so much. Normally you will have so much there. You just spray it first, just to get the initial shit off it. Let that dry off, and then sort of look at that. Let that grease or everything leak out first. That's already 100 times better. And I've just sprayed it once for a second, so if you have it standing upright, then a lot of the stuff will leak down. Alright, it's starting to look pretty new again, which is nice. As you can see, fairly clean around the edges as well, and in there. Well, that's the hardest part to get to. So just do your best to get that with a cloth or something. Make sure this bit is clean as well. The before and after, if you guys remember what it looked like. That's not bad now. Now this one, with this you have to be careful because there's wiring. You know, I've read a lot where you shouldn't actually spray any of this or use a different spray, but just be careful. And again, you want to get behind the blade itself all the way around as well. Right, and there you go. That's the after. So you got to wait for it to dry. This bit here, there is a indentation on the ring there. Okay, and there's one on the opposite end. Just make sure that both of these are on the opposite end of each other. That's when the gun works best. That's what I've read anyway. So I'm gonna make sure I do that. And now, once you've sprayed and once you clean every part, just give it sort of half an hour to an hour to let everything dry completely, and then we'll apply the oil. Right, so we've allowed the gun to sit for a while to let it dry out. The last bit is just to use some lubricant. So the only part that you should really be using lubricating is for this ring pod here, and use it, honestly, use sparingly. So use a few drops around like that. You can even spread it yourself if you want with your finger. I know a lot of people have different opinions on this. I've heard sometimes it's okay just to put 1 or 2 drops in there. So that's what I do, and just move it around there just so the lubricant can actually spread out. Right, well, now that we've applied oil, it's time to put this thing back together. If you've taken it apart this far, the first step is to put this back in the shell like that. Okay, then you want to take this piece here, put that over the top like that. Now once you've done that, next step is put these 3 screws back on. Right, the next step is to put this back on. So what you want to do is grab your piece that you have, okay, grab this little piece, put it in, okay, but just make sure both of the screw holes are visible for you, okay. And once you do that, just put this on top like such. Screw down the screw. Right, and just make sure if you've for some reason lost these 2 bits, or if they've fallen out, this is what it should look like. So see these 2 ridges here? Just make sure that they're on the outside and the other part is on the inside. So like such, both of these are on the outside. Okay, the next step is to actually put this into that. Just be careful when you put it in, try not to dent these, or try to not to scrape these too much. Oh, saying that as I do it. That should just sit like that. And the next 2 screws you should put in are these 2 here. Once you've got this back on, this front is pretty much done. The next step is to get the back on. So that's very simple. You got your filter, put your filter back in the slot, and then put your little grill or whatever this is called in like such. Okay, get to the back, open this up, and just get this, line this up, and then put your 4 screws back in there. Okay, well, and you have the gun put back together. So the final thing I guess is to test a firing shot. Woo! It's firing like it's just come out of the shop. And that is how you service and clean your Paslode IM350 Plus. Hope it was helpful. If you've got any questions or anything that you want to let me know about, drop it down in the comments and I'll be sure to read everything. See you guys in the next video.